And we're back.
Alrighty.
Let me just go ahead and undo all this jazz. Okay. We should be good. So let me quickly do a sound check just so I make sure I'm not overpowering you. All this. Okay. We should be good. So let me quickly do a sound check just so I make sure I'm not overpowering you. All right. Should be good.
Sweet.
Okay, so if you would take it away, sir, you are the host.
Alrighty. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Aniclash Backstage, where we show you the inner workings of all things Aniclash, as well as discuss all things anime, AFGC, and fighting games. I am your host and co-owner of Aniclash TST0, joined by the one and only Snake with a Snark and other co-owner Euchre.
Hello, everybody.
And this is Aniclash Backstage. Before we get into our topics here, it's still weird. It's weird coming in here literally a day after my birthday and just being like, I'm 26.
Oh,
I don't feel that different.
yeah. Once you hit like 16, like it stops feeling different.
Yeah. Though I had a hell of a birthday last night.
Oh, dude, nice.
Went to this like very old school place that sold a lot of old stuff, like old books, albums, stuff like that. But they also had this whole thing for like video games, both old and new. So they had a bunch of Atari stuff, a bunch of NES, N64, and we managed to find the last few things that we needed for a GameCube that we needed to play. And I also found myself an arcade stick for $40.
Wow. What kind of arcade stick? I want to look this up.
It was a Quanba drone.
That looks like it's a pretty pricey. Oh, no. It's not that pricey. But there is a pretty cool cross tag one.
Yeah.
On Amazon for like $67.
But yeah, it was $40. Stick was in perfectly fine condition. I used it last night, tested it out. Feels weird as hell.
Does it now? Dollars.
But it was after about like an hour, half an hour, I was able to get at least like 3/4 of my my BNB. I just need to work on like rapid canceling, barriering, and stuff like that as well. So it's like I'm relearning the fundamentals all over again.
Right. Give me a second. I want to bring Ukes in here, and then I'll mute myself on OBS.
Okay.
If you want to keep talking, you can.
Well, I mean, like I can't do any topics yet until you get back in here. But yeah, it was weird. There we go. Hmm. Ukes is muted. That's weird. Oh, okay. Hmm. odd way for things to work, but oh well, yeah. I don't know either. I don't know what to tell you. Okay. Technical difficulties. The stream. Oh well.
And I'll turn you up because you are a bit quiet. Alright, go ahead and say something. What is going on here? Discord, what are you doing? Oh my goodness.
Like, it took so long for me to
I
connect.
had to switch back to US Central. That was so weird. Okay, well, let's not have any more technical difficulties, I guess. I had to
That's just Aniclash in general. It's like, we've always had technical difficulties no matter what. There's
Yeah, but
always something going wrong.
even so, that was just weird. That wasn't even our technical difficulty. That was entirely Discord being wild.
Yeah. The server just will. I mean, the server for East just won't respond. Something going wrong.
Even so, that
It's weird.
okay. That sounds much better. We sound about equal now. All right, so let's get started. What are we talking about today, Zero?
All right. So the first topic we have for tonight is not too long ago there was a leak for a possible namesake of the new version of Under Night In-Birth being Under Night In-Birth EXE latest CL-R. So a lot of people are going on record to call it now Uniclear, which is weird as hell.
So what I've heard so far is Uniclear, Unclear, and my personal, well, those are the only ones that I've heard from other people, but I have seen UNIC, which I just read as Unic, which is where my castration joke comes into play.
Oh, jeez.
Because eunuchs are people who've been castrated. And,
Unless you're a Namekian.
I mean, I guess. If we had junk, you'd be gay.
But
and my personal, stupid, admittedly made up one for it is nuclear.
I still think that's weird. Like, the entire naming
Find you.
convention is weird. No, I mean, like, in general, the CLR. It's like, I understand that the entire concept of the naming conventions are their computer commands, or their console commands. I understand. I know why that is. It's just that they chose the naming convention to be that is weird.
Wait, what? Why are all the names console commands?
Like there's somebody else was explaining it to me. There's one for ST. There's there's one for EXE, or not console commands. It has to do with computers. Somebody else explained it to me, and I remember specifically, or not. I don't remember specifically what it was. I'm gonna have to ask them again. But
I see.
But it's just, like I said, the entire thing is weird. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the fact that this is relatively close to Evo, and I feel like that's a little too much of a coincidence to not think that this is going to be shown at Evo.
I'm willing to bet that it will be. I don't think they would announce it this early if it wasn't going to be shown in some capacity at Evo. I feel like that would be like, I mean, yeah, there's.
It was a straight up leak. It was a leak for a high res image, and
it wasn't really a leak. They said it straight up that it's coming out.
Oh.
I mean, unless I misinterpreted the post that I saw, but I think I saw it from like ASW.
All I know is that a lot of people were proclaiming, "Oh, it's a leak," and yada yada yada. Because the only thing I saw, and the only thing I was seeing everybody say was, somebody released this image by accident or some other stuff. Like I was looking at Coefficient, and the first thing he said was, "Oh, somebody leaked out the next Under Night."
I don't know. I don't know that that's factual. From what I saw, it looked like it was planned.
All I know is that it's way too big of a coincidence, especially considering that, like I said, Evo just around the corner, and on top of that, one of the best ways of releasing a game or releasing information for a game is to have your game at Evo, or at least something pertaining at least a little bit to that game for Evo. For example, BB Tag information the very first time was released during
Evo, right after the Jubei release or reveal.
Exactly. So
which was really actually a brilliant timing for it, because everyone was so hyped for Jubei that having a new I'm speaking relatively, having a new Blaze Blue game announced immediately after Jubei, and then, oh wait guys, it's a tag fighter, and it's a crossover tag fighter. Oh, and by the way, there's Ruby in it. The stadium exploded, dude.
Yeah.
The stadium exploded with that.
Absolutely.
Dual
people
announcement.
were jumping up and down. But I honestly, 80% sure. Uniclear is going to be shown at Evo. The big thing I'm thinking is possible new characters. Well, if it is shown at Evo, it's almost guaranteed there's going to be new characters, at least one or two, because there's always something big or whatever. I don't think there's going to be a new mechanic, because there wasn't a new mechanic for late ST, and nerfs and buffs are generally what are going to be on everybody's mind, with the exception of new characters, if this does get shown. And for a fact that they're not going to say jack shit about that until later down the line. So we're going to start going to the hypotheticals here, because I know a little bit about Under Night. I don't know how much you know about Under Night in terms of
Not very much.
What characters are good or not.
From what I understand, Gordo is good.
Yeah, well, he's always been good just because his reach, his confirms, his just generally oppressive nature. I have seen a lot of Akatsuki, or I've seen a lot more of Akatsuki now because he's a very technical character, but he's also a very hype character, and he brings a lot of punishment and damage with him, even though like people get hyped for different reasons because it both looks cool and people who understand the game know that it is a very technical thing to play Akatsuki, because like you're essentially subjecting yourself to a harder character who has to work harder for the damage that one person can do just by pressing 3 buttons, but it looks freaking awesome. And I'm just thinking Akatsuki's probably going to be birthed, because I feel like a couple of they're going to buff him in certain aspects, but then they're also going to nerf him in certain aspects. Like I almost guarantee they're going to buff his rushdown game, they're going to buff his damage, but they're going to nerf his projectiles. So, you know, something along that line. Or they're probably going to give Gordo the same treatment where they're going to, I mean, that they did in or that BB Tag did, where they're going to reduce his hitboxes of Grim Reaper, or they're going to, you know, something along those lines. And that's kind of the big draw point for a lot of people going into a game. Like we talked about this 2 weeks ago, where one of the biggest ways you can get new people in is either having a new version or having a massive update, or, you know, stuff like that, where the biggest draw can either be new characters or changes to characters that you were like slightly interested in, but now these changes made them a character you're guaranteed to be interested in, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, even, and also, not to mention the fact that whenever you have a giant update and stuff like that, the streamers usually pile on. So the game ultimately ends up getting a lot of publicity because, you know, we got, I mean, geez, when DBFZ, I understand this is Dragon Ball and that's a bit of an unfair advantage, but when when DBFZ dropped, there was over like 10,000 people, I think, watching DBFZ streams.
Well, actually, Dragon Ball Fighters at Evo broke the viewership record the very first year it was there, and that is no easy task.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm talking about like even just
like
weeks after release, there was like 10,000 people watching this game on stream, which is huge, and now nobody watches it, but that's okay.
Yeah, but that's come to be expected.
It's a fighting game.
It's a fighting game. Even though it's Dragon Ball, it's
still a fighting game.
It's bound to lose momentum here and there.
It's not Fortnite.
Oh God,
it's a very old camera. But I'm using
hot take.
a 50
I am just
lens,
thankful it is losing momentum, and Minecraft is somehow gaining it. I don't understand how that is working, but okay.
Well, I guess there's 533 concurrent, viewers right now for Fighters, which is still a lot. That's more than Blaze Blue sees in a month.
Yeah. A little bit of a mini topic here. Speaking of updates, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus actually had a couple of updates and info itself, with a couple of character-specific trailers and a new character reveal. That being
is it the Catalina?
No, the extremely flamboyant.
Oh, the
So
wrestler.
yeah, her name is Festiva or La Diva, depending on what translation you decide to go with.
Can we just call her man, I can't think of like a female version of the name Austin, so I can't use Stone Cold Steve whatever. Oh wait, no, Steve is in there too. I need that as well.
Yeah.
Stephanie?
Stone
well.
Cold Stephanie Aubrey.
Oh wait, Austin
I
is his
don't know.
last name, so that doesn't matter. I
Yeah.
could call her Stone Cold Stephanie Austin.
I mean, the fact of the matter is, that is one flamboyant as hell woman that is even more flamboyant than the Ginyu Force. I didn't think that was even possible, one. And two, the fact that they are a combo heavy grappler, that one of their supers, I'm assuming, because I really still don't know how the mechanics of this game work, like the whole skill system and what have you. Where one of their supers is doing a massive dive kick straight to your jaw. I'm sorry. This character is amazing.
Is it all cinematic and junk?
Yeah,
It's probably a super then.
because like everybody also has unique expressions when they get kicked in the face.
Oh man, so
But-
she's basically Faust.
Yeah, and I think her level 3, I'm assuming it's her level 3 because it's a massive cinematic thing, is her doing a bear hug and then crushing you and pinning you down for the 3 count. So, Festiva or La Diva, however you want to pronounce it, definitely have my eye out for that character because I want to see how well she does, especially when the other characters like Lancelot have so much stuff from Guilty Gear's Leo that it's insane. There's I think her name is Fairy? Ferry, I think is her name. She's the whip user. If you guys couldn't tell, I don't really follow Grand Blue. But if I do get my hands on this game, I'm looking at her. But the main reason why I wanted to bring this up is because there have been a lot of character trailers being released by people from the FGC, which is kind of a very weird but fresh tactic to me. Because at any point, they could have just went the way of Dragon Ball and said, here are the character trailers, they're about like 60 seconds long, here you go. But no, they decided to give 2 character trailers to Flo, 1 character trailer to Justin Wong, and, give these guys the spotlight as well as give these character trailers to the people that are mainly looking for them as well as the audience of those streamers.
Yeah, using top players in the FGC to advertise your game is really a good idea. That's like
It's brilliant.
That's the same as going into literally any sports field, like actual contact or whatever sport, and like using Tiger Woods to advertise your golf clubs, or using what's his name, the ridiculously good receiver in football.
I don't know.
The guy with the magic hands.
You're talking to somebody who does not watch football.
Neither. But it's like using them to advertise your gear.
Yeah.
It's gonna carry.
And not only that, it's gonna have a lot more weight and it's gonna be a lot more interesting because it's not just, oh, we're gonna give you these character trailers, that's going to be it. It's more along the lines like when I looked at Flo and when I looked at Justin Wong, they didn't just give the character trailers, they gave the character trailers and their thoughts on the character as well from what they've seen. And I feel like that in general is what makes people more interested in those characters, because when a top player has an opinion on something, regardless of whether it's a good or bad opinion, people will notice and people will look at it and go, huh,
Yeah.
that's interesting. So that's like Grand Blue Fantasy Versus is doing a lot of right things right now. It's making me a lot more interested in a game I was generally not really interested in because like I said, I don't follow Grand Blue.
Right.
But hey,
if it works, it works.
It works, and it's a hell of a selling point. I mean, if that's how they want to do updates, then I am all for it. And speaking of updates, BB Tag has a date for its update, finally.
Huzzah!
Going into topic number 2, BB Tag update has a date, but here's the big thing. What can you guys expect to happen online now that the update is going to be hitting? So,
well, first of all, what's the date? It's isn't it the 21st or is it the 25th?
Yes, it is the
okay.
It's the 21st.
So yeah, this coming Tuesday is when BB Tag will be dropping 1.5. Okay, so first and foremost, I'm pretty sure we're gonna be seeing a lot of people getting very angry.
Oh yeah, we're going to be seeing a lot of people get angry, especially because
of their characters being like weak or something now. It's like, man, the patch just dropped. Just deal with it for like a few weeks, and I promise you, somebody will figure out how to play your character.
It's this weird, like, every time an update hits a game, especially a game that you care very deeply in, there's this weird 1 to 2 week adjustment period that people don't realize they need to get used to, because if a character has changed, then you need to understand that you can no longer play the character in the way you were. You have to adjust yourself to how the character is now. So the other big thing I also wanted to point out is that there's going to be a lot more players online for a little bit. Not for a lot, but it's going to be for a little bit, because people aren't just going to go, oh, okay, my character's changed, that's going to be it. Yep. I'm done with it. They're going to want to test these changes out in online, as well as test out a lot of new bullshit. So there's going to be a couple tactics also that a lot of people aren't familiar with. Like, for example, people are going to have to get used to Teddy's 5B, which is a giant freaking baseball bat the size of 3 character lengths. You gotta get used to that. But people are already bitching about it because they're not used to it. And that's just the people who are at the arcades.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say too that like we're gonna see an influx of players either returning or checking it out for the first time, because a lot of people, when these things happen, they just say, I'll wait for the patch to get the game.
Yeah.
I also think that we are going to see a ton of, well, maybe not a ton, because Blaze Blue is pretty niche in the FGC, but I mean,
well, it's niche in the AFGC, let alone the FGC.
Yeah. I mean, BB Tag is still popular, so you know, we might see a decent chunk of streamers popping on, and you know, hitting the lab. We're gonna see a ton of tech coming in for like the first week or so.
Oh yeah.
I expect to be grinding away at the new changes that they're making to Ruby, because I'm really looking forward to Gun Blast canceling.
I can't wait to see what Seth can do. I can't wait to see these new. I can't wait to see how bad the Gordo changes are, actually. Because
well, they're getting better because they've made some adjustments. He got a better hitbox on his Grim Reaper.
Yeah, but he also has a worse vertical hitbox on his Grim Reaper.
That's
so
what, no, it got worsened, and then they like de-nerfed it a little bit. So the vertical hitbox is a bit better.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Because holy crap, it was really bad. People were super jumping over it.
Yeah.
That's
It was.
that should not be a thing.
It was terrible. I'm excited to see all the new tech that's coming out, and I'm hoping that I'm hoping, okay, let me say this. Naoto is a sick character to be putting into Blaze Blue cross tag battle. And I'm hoping,
especially as preserved as he is.
Yes, and I'm hoping that exposure to said sick character will encourage some people who are planning on picking up said sick character to decide to check out where said sick character comes from, and they'll play BBCF. And they'll be like, man, he's even cooler here! Except he's really hard to play for us. Wait, why?
Yeah, you're actively condoning arthritis, you sick bastard.
Listen, it's not as bad as you think it is, but I understand where you're coming from.
It's pretty bad. I've tried to do his B&B or see what the inputs are for his B&B. No.
Okay. My thing is just like, maybe exposure to this character will encourage people to play BBCF, and whether or not they pick up Naoto or some other character, it doesn't matter to me. Is there's new people coming into CF, there's new people coming into CF, and that's good.
Yes. Because, I mean, like we said last time, one of the greatest things of multiple series being in a tag fighter is that people are going to look at a character, and if they like them enough, they're going to go and wonder, what game does this character come from? They're going to look it up. They're going to look at a lot of videos and stuff about that character, about that game, which in turn gives more exposure to that game. And then from one person, it could possibly grow to a whole bunch of people because, maybe they have a group of friends who also really like fighting games. You go, hey, this character is sick, and he's from this game. You guys should really try it out, and yada yada. So that's something that a lot of people still don't realize, is that tag fighters help grow the fighting game community, even if by a little bit. But
that is absolutely true. I'm just tired of waiting for this thing.
Yeah.
Like, I get that we were talking about, like, is the wait justified yesterday, but that doesn't change the fact that I'm tired of waiting for it. I want to start labbing. Listen. Ruby 1.5 has me hype, okay? It's like better Bardock.
Oh god.
And I picked up Bardock as soon as he dropped, and I was like, this character is so much fun! This was before he was even developed, and people were like, why are all these Bardock players mashing 5A or 5L? And it's like, man, I don't even care. This character's cool. I mean, I'm like doing lariats from across the screen. Look at me. It's awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing what exactly I can do, how much I can abuse the less patient people playing the game, or exactly like how much. I think I already came up with like a 1, 2, 3, 4, a quadruple cross up.
Oh jeez.
Yeah,
well,
well, she already had the quadruple cross up,
yeah,
but that doesn't change the fact that, now I could probably even do a quintuple cross up, if Sea Blast works the way I think it does.
Now, here's the thing, guys. There's a new patch coming up. There's a whole bunch of other fighting games coming up. MK11 released not too long ago. There's going to be a lot of new players and new people going into fighting games with an interest in it. So, I see this argument brought up a lot. of console versus computer. And I feel like it's a topic that we should also bring up and address, because I've had a lot of people from all walks of life go, should I buy this game on console? Should I buy this game on Steam or PC? You know, and arguments made for both sides, like, oh, this game is so much better because of the mods on PC, or hey, this game is so much better because a majority of the community and online players are on console. And I feel like this needs to be addressed. Like, what is ultimately better to get a game on, console or PC?
Okay,
And
go ahead.
I feel like there's no real definitive answer, because it all depends on what you're looking for.
Okay, so there's a number of things to consider when you are purchasing a fighting game or deciding to purchase a fighting game on console or on PC. Excuse me for a second. All right. So, I guess the first thing, the most important thing I personally would consider is, aside from do I have either of those, it would be, where is the audience? Where's the player base?
Yeah.
On BBCF, player base, or at least the strongest players, are all on PSN. And the PC community, while still alive and while having, a lot of strong players from the console community participating in events on PC, generally, like on the day-to-day, it's pretty dead. From what I've heard, it's not very active, and that's really disappointing to some people.
Not to mention, on the lower end of PCs, CF does have a tendency to, not only that, but it also just has a tendency to just kind of crash for no reason.
Yeah, sometimes.
So it's kind of like it's pick your, well, not pick your poison, but it's like pick your preference.
Roll the dice.
Because
well, I'm not done listing my reasons.
Go for it.
So while you've got games that are popular on console and less so on PC, like BlazBlue, you have other games that aren't as popular on console but are more popular on PC, like GG Exard Rev 2.
Yeah.
From what I've heard, most of the Guilty Gear community playing Rev 2 are on PC.
Accent Core Plus R, especially. Like, most of the Guilty Gear community in general is just PC oriented.
Yeah, and I don't remember exactly what the reason for that is, but I think it has something to do with it just being an all-around better experience, as far as like netcode goes.
Yeah.
Obviously, mods are something to consider. They do change a bit of the game, a bit of the landscape of the game. For example, there is a modding community for CF that was weird. Excuse me. That plays around with characters' movesets. For example, if you guys go and look up, allow me to shill myself for a moment. If you guys go and you look up, I believe the keywords would be Euchre, Ruby, CMV. I believe. Yeah. Okay, yeah. 2 years ago, before New Year's 2018, I recorded some footage for Coefficient for a CMV based around, well, he was doing like a bunch of Ruby-centric CMVs.
Yeah, he was doing a lot of Ruby.
He was doing one for Roman Torchwick with Hazama. So, I had Seggel 2009 on Twitter. Excuse me. Make me a Roman Torchwick-like palette. You can't really do Roman with Hazama because the color of Hazama's jacket and his hat are tied together. So you can't do a white hat or a white jacket and a black hat unless you want to completely redo his color maps, which is going to be hard. Hard to implement. But I used two moveset mods for that CMV. One made by Satrius, which was it mapped Hazama's stomps from his Super Command Throw to special, which was I believe it was 2-2D. I could be wrong. It was I think it was actually 2-2C. Maybe I don't remember.
I think it was also 2-2C because
And
I remember
it was actually really cool because it was a special, so you could special cancel things into these stomps. And the CMV was pretty cool for stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then I also used another mod by a guy who goes by Geo. I don't know if he's still relevant in the modding community, but he did a really, really, really good job. I just haven't heard from him in a long time. So he did like an unlimited Hazama mod. And this brought back Den of Hungry Snakes, if anyone remembers that. Den of Hungry Snakes was his unlimited distortion prior to BBCP. And in Den of Hungry Snakes, he does he teleports and then does what was it called? Wind Serpent's Fang? Yeah, that's what it was. I'm not using the Japanese names because not everyone knows the Japanese names. I just realized I muted myself. I'm sorry if I was talking over you. I don't even know what happened.
I know. I was honestly just letting you go.
No, I muted my speakers. So I couldn't hear you if you were talking. I just noticed the icon in the corner. I was like, well, that's weird.
That was a good thing I wasn't talking.
And then he does Devouring Fang into 4 hungry coils in a row, and then he beats you up and kicks you away or something like that. I don't remember. But it added that, and it was it's really cool because it was almost a total moveset overhaul. It added Wind Serpent's Fang on J214C. OD stance dashing teleported you. And there was all sorts of cool stuff going on that you could do. But anyway, that's enough of, talking about my own experiences. Modding on PC can really change the landscape of the experience. For better or for worse.
A mod can change things absolutely for the better, but at the same time, like you said, a mod can also make things absolutely worse. Like, for example, BBCF has a has a quote-unquote improvement mod that actually makes the game crash more.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but I think it's mostly just because of the code surrounding the palette usage. It actually didn't do that before he started networking it so that you could see the other players' skins, custom skins.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Yeah. So, I mean, it like we said before, pick your preference. It's all about what you as a consumer and a player want to do. You want mods, you want an experience with other people, you want an experience solo. You have to consider all of these things before you get a game on console or computer. You also have to know where the community is. Because if you don't know where the community is, then you can essentially think that you're getting a dead game, but in reality, you just got the
wrong game.
Yeah, you got the wrong game.
There is one more thing that I want to touch on regarding this this choice is you absolutely need to consider your rig. If you're debating between the two, you need to consider the quality of your computer. Provided fighting games aren't terribly demanding, most of them can be run pretty easily. However, if your computer isn't up to snuff, or in the case of CF, because it was not a great port, if it's like an average level computer, you're gonna run into some issues. And the unfortunate fact of the matter is that, unlike with consoles, equipment uniformity does not exist in the PC universe.
Not only that, but on a majority of games, there is no such thing as perfect optimization for games on PC. It just does not exist. There is no such thing as, well, this game runs well on console, that means it'll run well on my PC that has the exact same specs as this console.
Right.
No, it doesn't work like that.
It's unfortunate, but that's a fact. You wanna know what's funny? Guess what the stream is running at right now as a source resolution?
What?
854p!
I got 864.
That's okay. Maybe it is 64. It's probably I see it as 854 because the font that my browser uses for Twitch is a little weird. So it's hard to differentiate between 5s and 6s sometimes when it's that small.
I've got base font working on my Chrome browser, so.
Anyway, I think we spent enough time on that topic. If you want to move on.
Yeah, let's actually move on to our final topic, and arguably our biggest topic, actually, to a lot of people, and a very overrated topic to a bunch of others. That being FF7 Remake. Now, a lot of people have been looking forward to this game and just kind of kept silent about it, me included, because, in all honesty, I'm not a big Final Fantasy fan, with the exception of the Ivalice series of games.
But you love 15.
I fucking love 15, yeah. But it doesn't mean I'm a Final Fantasy fan. I like certain games. As a Final Fantasy as a whole, I'm kind of like not a big fan of it. I feel like some Final Fantasy games just run a little too long or what have you. My whole thing with Final Fantasy VII, the base game, is that I kind of screwed myself up. I went to a place I wasn't supposed to, died, and then essentially got told I have to redo an entire hour-long sequence all over again with the airship and everything, because there wasn't a save point anywhere. So I said screw that and deleted it. But FF7 Remake finally shown after quite literally years of no information. And with the news of, hey, guess what? You think this is a lot of info? Just wait this June, which means E3. So
yeah, that's right. E3's in June.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So I'm actually really looking forward to checking out the FF7 remake, because I mean, mostly because it's staying in the same vein as FF15 in terms of its like combat philosophy. I was never really a huge fan of the turn-based RPG style. Tactics is different. That's like, you know, I enjoy tactics style games. I don't mean FF7 or FF Tactics. I mean like the genre, like XCOM.
Okay. Yeah.
But I thoroughly enjoyed FF15, and if sorry, I got hit by like a wave of anticipation for a second there. if they make the soundtrack as excellent as FF15's soundtrack was, I'm gonna be blown away. I've heard.
Well, I'm actually.
I've heard so many good things about FF7, and I mean, it's from what I understand, it's such a large scale game.
Yeah.
That I expect there to be maybe not hundreds of hours. I don't know. I never played FF7. Maybe not hundreds of hours, but nearing hundreds of hours of content with excellent soundtrack work. I understand it's being released episodically.
Yes.
But altogether, if there's hundreds of hours of content with really, really good music and a sick battle system, I'm gonna be happy.
Let me put one of those things at ease. Guess who is the
Is it Yoko?
No, not. I'm not talking about that. We don't know who the composer is yet.
Okay.
We do, however, know who the battle system coordinator is.
Who's the battle system coordinator?
Same guy who did Kingdom Hearts 2.
I'm going. Bye. Have a good night, everybody.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Euchre has left the building.
No, I'm back.
But yeah, so the guy who did Kingdom Hearts 2 is doing also the battle coordination for the system and everything else for Final Fantasy VII Remake.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, that makes me really excited because it also means that he loves putting mechanical flourish into games, which you can actually already see in the trailer.
Yeah.
Because if you look at Barrett, he does backblast at one point, but then he does backblast augmented with the fire materia. So it does an added fire effect and even does an explosion at the end. There's also a dedicated guard button, which is great, and it's an actual held guard instead of the parry guard that Kingdom Hearts likes to use. I still like that, by the way.
Yeah, I do too.
But the fact that an active held guard is there, that's pretty cool.
I'm really hoping for like cinematic encounters similar in style to like when, because I don't know anything about the game other than Aeris dies and there's an airship going on and Sephiroth's got a big sword.
So for those of you who are either watching this or listening to this and thinking about getting into FF7, spoilers, Aeris dies.
Yeah, Aeris dies. This isn't news.
Yeah, it's like, for those of you who've never played FF7 before, like FF7 versions or whatever the term is, I've seen a lot of people who know nothing about FF7 go into the trailer, use a couple of screenshots of Aerith being adorable, which she fucking is, not gonna lie, and going, "Oh, she's precious, I have to protect her. We all have to protect her." And then I'm just here going, ooh.
Isn't she not even in the game for very long before she dies?
No, she's in the game for a while. I think she's like 3/4.
I don't know
about the game before she dies.
I remember reading that she doesn't last very long. Well, I mean.
Oh no, she does.
Okay, but yeah, everybody, the game is 20 years old. I'm pretty sure all of our like 5 or 6 viewers know that Aeris dies already.
Yeah.
But 7 viewers, including myself. I'm pretty sure everybody watching already knows that Aeris dies. The game is 20 years old. It's been a joke. It's a meme. I'm surprised if you haven't already learned this fact.
I mean, I'm not surprised at humanity at all anymore at this point. Like, so if people say, hey, I didn't know that Aeris dies, I'm like, now you do.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
I'm not.
Hold on. Be quiet.
Humanity at all anymore at this point. Like, I just, So if people say, hey, I didn't know that.
Okay. Wait, what's going on?
What do you mean?
Wait a minute. Hold on. Okay, cool. I thought, like, I checked, I did a volume check really quick, and, like, I didn't hear anything for a really long time. I was like, oh, no. But you're good. You can talk.
Okay. Yeah, like, there was this old show that I thought they were going to bring back, but nah, it's not. It was called, I think it was The Basement Crew or something like that, where somebody was playing FF7, and then just casually, somebody who's already beaten FF7 goes, "Oh, is he past the point where Aerith dies? Aerith dies?"
Yep.
The thing, I only know because I've looked up things myself. Aerith gets to the point, like, pretty long into the game where, like, at least level, what, like 40, 50, somewhere around there? Yeah, so somewhere around 40 or 50, where she finally actually, gives up the ghost and becomes a human shish kebab. And it's this huge monumental thing, but what somebody actually found out, and it's still in the game's code, the original PlayStation version and the Steam version, is that there was a mechanic called level 4 revive materia. And what originally it was going to do was be a way of bringing Aerith back because she was a party member. She, there was still equipment that you gave her and, stuff like that. But it would be more of an emotional impact if she
We're just
stayed
out.
dead.
Yeah, she's just dead and
gone.
just stayed out. Yeah.
So, the funny thing is that when somebody actually changed just a few things to make level 4 revive materia still a thing, turns out Aerith still had dialogue post-death. So
weird.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's just like it was still there. The game didn't crash when she was in your party during certain situations. And it was just kind of like, why would you keep this in here?
Yeah, just junk data. When did you... Oh, Aerith. Yeah, because you keep calling her Aerith, and I'm saying Eris.
It depends on which translation you like to call. It's always been a debate, actually. Aerith. It's like, even FF7 Abridged made fun of it. But yeah, like, who knows? I severely doubt they're going to, just because it's a major pivotal plot point. But if for some reason they do allow level 4 revive materia to exist, one, I know a friend of mine who's going to be really pissed off because he's going to think that's really stupid. And two, it's going to be really interesting to see how the rest of the community looks at it, just because it's going to be a major change in the story. And that's not the first change that's going to be in there. Like, there's now confirmation that the hallucinations that Cloud was having was of Sephiroth. That was the voice in his head. So, like, there's a lot of changes that are happening to this game, especially since it's the first actual game is going to be focused on Midgar. It's going to be a fully fleshed out Midgar. That's what they're saying. What this means, no idea. But
you know what I would like to see. So, we may have had a conversation about this game in the past, you and I. But okay.
Geez.
No, I'm sorry. My girlfriend just sent me a conversation piece between her and another friend of ours. It's funny. She doesn't get the joke, but I do.
Oh, jeez.
you and I may have talked about this game in the past. Legend of Dragoon.
Yes.
I'm so Hedge Sledge and I have spoken about this game on a couple of occasions, and whenever we get really hyped up whenever we see anybody in FF14 that has a Legend of Dragoon character's name. I would like to see a remake of Legend of Dragoon in the getting right now. I understand that there's a whole lot of people, there's a huge contingent of people that want to see an HD re-release of Legend of Dragoon, or an HD remake of Legend of Dragoon, or a sequel to it. It's probably never going to happen, but there's a lot of people that want to see it. But after seeing the footage that Squeenix gave us for the FF7 remake, I want a remake like that for Legend of Dragoon now.
I mean, I honestly don't see why people wouldn't, because there's so much quality just going into the visuals of this game that, in all honesty, if it wasn't for the fact that it would be the Kingdom Hearts 2 guy doing the combat, I would actually be afraid that there wouldn't be enough money to develop the combat. But my fears are kind of put at ease now that he's directing. Still there, but not as much. And in the same vein, I also want to talk about the fact that Tifa, even though she's shown in the party screen, is nowhere to be found. That worries me.
I wouldn't worry too much about it.
Well, because I feel like they're going to try and either normalize her or redesign her to be a little more family friendly, quote unquote.
I doubt that.
I know it's just a fear, because Tifa is one of my favorite characters. The only reason being because I mained her in Dissidia 1.
You know what I wouldn't be upset about?
Yo.
If they used her Advent Children outfit throughout the entire game.
That would be a little weird, just because one, Advent Children comes after FF7.
I understand that. Is there any particular reason for the outfit that she wears in Advent Children, or is it just a redesign?
It's I'm
kind of like,
God, I can't remember.
Is there?
I feel like there is. I know the ribbon on her shoulder. For instance,
you know how there's a reason for the changes in clothing that they get in Kingdom Hearts. Okay, the clothes that Sora got in Kingdom Hearts 2 were to give him the ability to use it drive, and the clothes that he got in Kingdom Hearts 3 were to protect him from the darkness.
Oh. No, they're regular clothes, but the clothing when they changed it signified something. Like Cloud changed his clothing, and it signified a change in his character.
Oh, you're talking about FF7?
I'm talking about the actual movie.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. I thought you were Hearts for a second.
No. So, that's the main thing, is that if they were to choose her Advent Children redesign, it would be very weird, because in all honesty, Advent Children, even though I personally think it's a really good movie, even though I'm not really a fan of, I'm not yet a fan of Final Fantasy VII, Advent Children was still a really good movie to me. And the fact that if you make a character's design, for instance, let's say they all of a sudden changed Cloud's design into his Kingdom Hearts design, that would make people go, wait, what the hell? That's not Cloud's original design. That's not even close to it.
Yeah, the Kingdom Hearts design was unique to Kingdom Hearts.
Or saying if Cloud had his Advent Children design, people would go, why are clothes he's gonna use in the future here right now? That doesn't make any sense, and it's gonna be
really weird. Yeah, I getcha. I'm just saying, like, if they were changing something about Tifa, I wouldn't be upset if what they did instead was just give her outfit the Advent Children design.
Yeah.
But I mean, it doesn't make a big difference to me. But you know what else they didn't show, and I could be wrong about this, but I didn't see him, or them rather. Red 9? Is that his name? 9 or 13?
Red 13.
Red 13. That's what I thought it was the first time.
Yeah.
I didn't see Red 13, and I didn't see Vincent.
Well, that's because Vincent doesn't show up until like around halfway into the game.
And I only saw I didn't see Sid.
Sid, I know for a fact is going to be here for a while.
Yeah, and I also saw only one appearance of Tifa.
That
was in her stupid armor. That wasn't Tifa?
No.
Oh wait, we're talking about Tifa, aren't we?
Yes, we were talking about Tifa.
So, give me a second.
Thank you, Euchre.
I was thinking of
like there's only 3 female party members, that being Yuffie, Tifa, and Aerith.
Yeah, I was thinking of Yuffie.
Oh. Yeah, Yuffie isn't even shown in the trailer at all either.
That was my mistake. I mean, that girl with the turnstile is Tifa, right?
What?
Is that not Tifa with the turnstile?
No, Tifa usually wears a white shirt.
Yeah, I know what she usually wears. But I thought that girl was supposed to be Tifa with the turnstile and the weird hat.
No.
Is there someone in particular that was supposed to be?
I think you might be confusing one of the original members of Avalanche.
Well, are there 3?
There are three members.
Biggs,
three members
Wedge,
of Avalanche.
and...
Biggs, Wedge, and what's her name? I forgot what her name was. Somebody help me out here! I forgot what her name was.
Hold on, I got it. Give me a second.
But yeah,
Jessie.
Thank you. It's you.
Okay, yeah, it was Jessie. It was Jessie because she had the same armor. So yeah, we didn't see Tifa. We didn't see Yuffie. We didn't see Vincent. We didn't see Red 13. We saw Cloud. We saw Barrett. We saw Eris.
Yep. We saw a little bit of Biggs and Wedge, and we saw a lot of Jessie. That's about it. I mean, we saw the front of Biggs. We haven't seen the front of Wedge. But yeah, we're not gonna see. I don't think we're gonna see Red 13 until possibly the end of the first game, because Red 13 doesn't happen until the experimental facility. So that's a thing. Yuffie we're not going to see for a very long time because that is the ninja village, and originally to get Yuffie you had to have a random encounter with the freaking chick. So okay, thank you. Sorry about that.
Well done.
But what happened?
Nothing. That was just unexpected.
I have my friend Amber over here playing Metroid Prime, so that's why. I think you beat Final Fantasy 7. Yeah, they got Yuffie and everything. Beat all the Omega weapons, which I can't wait to see that shit in freaking Part 3, because those things are huge.
It's gonna be pretty cool too. Yeah.
Yeah. So like Emerald weapon, Ruby weapon,
Ultima weapon. I can't wait. Is it Omega in FF7?
I think Omega is in FF7. I think that's a super boss, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Omega is usually a super boss.
I think, wasn't that the one underwater? Okay, thank you. But
no, that was Emerald. Omega. Oh. Omega appears in Dirge of Cerberus.
Oh,
Wait a minute! The FF7 remake might include content from Dirge of Cerberus.
that would be interesting.
Since they're releasing it episodically, they might include that. That would be cool.
I don't know. Who knows? I mean, there's a lot of things they can do, and there's a lot of things they could not do and change. But we won't know. We don't know what direction they're going to take until this June, which it just makes me a lot more excited for E3 because I actually have a reason to be excited for E3 now because I actually didn't.
Well, he's looking forward to E3.
Hi. I'm looking forward to E3 now. But I mean, FF7, we're gonna get more information, possibly a playable build at Evo, or not Evo, at E3. No idea, no confirmation, and no nothing yet. A lot of rumors are going around, are saying that, oh yeah, it's gonna be playable at E3. I don't think that's gonna be a thing. I mean, maybe, but who knows? If it is, it means that we're gonna get a lot of people's impressions on it, which is really good. But it's a thing again, and that's the major thing I wanted to bring to light is the fact that FF7 is now officially a thing again after the whole fallout with CyberConnect 2 and Square Enix.
Well,
But
I think that's about all we've got to talk about today.
yeah, that's all we have to talk about. Any final thoughts here, Euchre?
No, I don't have any final thoughts, but I do want to say before we get signed off here, if you guys haven't already signed up for this Saturday's Aniclash event, we're going to be starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We've already got a few people signed up for the event, and you can find a link to the challenge in the chat.
Nice.
So make sure to come on by and, come and have some fun. There's no prize involved. There's no risk, no reward except for glory. And, I mean, it's also a learning experience. I'm pretty sure Aerith's still here. But I think he's already in the bracket. That would be last week's winner for any of you who might be watching and have never participated in an Aniclash event before. Go ahead and take a crack at him. See where it gets you.
Yeah. But until then, guys, I am TSD0 here with Euchre, and this has been Aniclash Backstage. We hope you have a good night, and see you in a few days.
Have a good night, everybody.
Peace.